It is Friday, and that means it's time for the Consumer Advice Series brought to you by About Mansfield Podcast. And I'm your host, Steve Casillo. And with us today, because it's not only Friday, it's 12 noon, and that means we bring in our tax experts. Say hello to Adam Coen. And Adam, say hello to the About Mansfield listeners and viewers out there.
Hey, how are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. What's new in the world of taxes before we get specifically into
Oh, nothing.
nothing?
Nothing that we want to talk about right this second anyway, Steve.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, today's topic really kind of has me excited because I got to admit I've got a little skin in the game, and so we're talking cryptocurrency and taxes. So as you can imagine, I've got a lot of questions going here, and so if if I own cryptocurrency, do I have to report that on my tax return?
You do. You
What?
do. There's a big checkbox right on the front page of the tax return that says, "Do you own? Did you sell? Did you acquire?" Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In other words, is your name attached to any cryptocurrency during the tax year? And you have to check the box, yes.
Okay, so why would the IRS want to know if I bought cryptocurrency?
Do you want a jaded answer? Uh, I think the primary reason from an administration of the tax laws is there's a lot of use for cryptocurrency by drug cartels, et cetera, and things like that. And there is a presumption, or there at least there was for a long time, presumption that maybe something nefarious was going on if somebody owned that. Now that's not so much it now, but from a reporting standpoint, the IRS doesn't know what to do with cryptocurrency. They can't figure it out, and
Right.
so they're trying to figure out how do we tax it. Number one, how do we keep track and make sure that somebody's actually paying what they should? So that question is mainly a feeler, just trying to get a sense for how many people are truly in this.
Yeah.
Which, and I heard the statistic just recently that 24%, I think, is the number of people in the United States that own some form of cryptocurrency.
24%. And
Whereas,
I would assume most of those are under age 50.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
most of them are.
Yeah.
Largely the age gap would be like 19 to 35, somewhere in that age gap.
All right.
But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, so all right. The IRS wants to know if we're in the game. And as you said, that's kind of a feeler. But all right. So I've bought Bitcoin now. I'm about to sell Bitcoin. Do I need to report how much I've bought and how much I've sold?
Yes. Yeah. And in fact, that's the main compliance issue that they're having is you've got good, robust exchanges like Coinbase, which are moving toward, of course, they got in a lot of hot water, and that's the reason that they're being compliant. But they're moving towards more of a brokerage type reporting. So you've got money in, money out. What's your basis? How much is your taxable gain or loss? Whereas there are some other smaller exchanges that are less compliant with the U.S. law, and so it's incumbent upon you as the person holding the cryptocurrency to figure out the correct reporting, which has been a nightmare for a lot of my clients. Uh, and in any case, yes, if you buy Bitcoin and now you've gone and you want to sell it back out into either USD or another fiat currency, or you exchange it for another coin, even you have to report that transaction and determine whether there's taxable value there.
Okay. So if you're going from Bitcoin to
Let's say Ethereum.
Ethereum or Dogecoin, or it's because it's a transaction,
Correct.
and you may or may not be making money. Well, see, this is where it gets into this
Yeah.
because cryptocurrency is a denomination,
Yeah.
and so you are making you're making money, you're making dollars. This is okay. This is where I'm kind of excited about this because, but it's not dollars until you sell it back into dollars.
True, but what they want you to do, and as it's currently set up, as the law is currently administered, at the time that you sell your Bitcoin or exchange your Bitcoin for, let's say, because it's been so popular in the past year, Dogecoin, maybe Elon will tweet about it
Yeah.
and we'll see a rise in it again. Uh, you have to convert the value of the Bitcoin to USD and then convert the value of the acquired Doge to USD at that point in time, and then determine if there's a taxable US reporting gain or loss.
And that's your job, right?
That's my job, and it's a big hassle. Now, hopefully, somebody's got something like Coinbase where they're or crypto.com where they've got a good reporting, but there are some of these exchanges that it's just a nightmare.
So how do I keep track of my gains and losses? Because just like purchasing stock,
Mhm.
if I make multiple purchases of stock, it may not be the same price that I'm purchasing at. So
Right.
how do I keep track of all of my gains or all of my losses for IRS purposes?
Yeah, and ideally, this question is multifaceted, but if you're on an exchange, if you're on more than one exchange, you need to go find out how they're going to report that to you at the end of the year. What's that look like? If they can give you a sample or something like that. If it's again something like one of these bigger exchanges, they're most likely going to give you a statement which is similar to a brokerage statement. It's going to have your ins and your outs, and you're not going to have to calculate it. If it's something like these smaller exchanges, which you notice I'm not going to name them, but if
Right.
you were with one of these, your ins and outs are not so easily tracked. What I recommend is, unfortunately, if you're doing a lot of trading, either on a monthly or a quarterly basis, go in and update a spreadsheet that you keep yourself. And that's going to be the easiest way. It's also going to make your accountant's life easier. So there's that.
And you
Yeah,
appreciate that.
I do greatly.
Okay. So let's recap. If you own cryptocurrency, you do have to report it. There is
Sure.
that line on the tax return,
Correct.
and this is on just your standard um, your standard tax return.
1040. Yeah, just on the front page of the 1040 tax return, there's that question.
Okay. You do have to pay tax on Bitcoin or cryptocurrency gains.
Correct.
So when you purchase, you are declaring it on your 1040. When you sell and you make a profit, or if you make a loss, you declare those on your 1040.
Correct. Now, I want to clarify, when you list that you do own crypto, they're not asking what is the makeup of your portfolio. They just want a yes or no answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's best for the individual who has purchased cryptocurrency to keep their own database of gains and losses.
Correct.
All right.
Correct. Just to verify that what you're getting out of the exchange is right.
If anyone out there in the podcast world on Facebook Live, if they're watching this on YouTube, if anybody has any questions about cryptocurrency and taxes and how it all works, how can they get a hold of Adam Coen?
Give us a call here. We're at 817-231-0666. Again, 231-0666. Or you can find us online. We're at dfwtaxteam.com.
Adam Coen, tax manager with Jack Lauderman CPA PC, and we do this every Friday live right here on Facebook Live. You can catch the video on YouTube. You can catch the video on LinkedIn. You can catch the audio on the About Mansfield podcast, which is available Apple, Spotify, Google Play, and on and on and on. So, Adam, have a great weekend, and we'll
You
do this
too.
again next week.
Talk to you then.